Time for another very special live edition of the Burning River Sportscast. Titans 31, Browns 29.
I like how it starts off so excited. You always get to, the score was this. Yeah, so before we get started, you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast. Talking Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Pandora, Radio Podcast, Castro, Good Pods. We're your number one ranked football podcast, and so many more. While you're at it, please leave us a review on your preferred podcast app. It really helps us grow, get seen. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, the only place you can find our video podcast, and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Our handle for all those socials is at Burning River Sportscast. We're on X as well with the handle at Burning River Pod. While you're at it, check out our merch, www.thetappingmedia.com/shop. All kinds of stuff in there. And then one last thing before we get going, shout out to our sponsors, Towpat Distillery. Towpat Distillery, an award-winning craft distillery located in Akron, Ohio. Towpat Distillery focuses on high-quality spirits, carefully made in small batches. Towpat Distillery, handcrafted, award-winning, small batch, local, and family-owned. In primetime sports and framing, with locations in Hartville, Streetsboro, Belden Village, Great Northern, and Kent, they are easily accessible wherever you are in Northeast Ohio. With the best selection and autographed collectibles and a world-class framing operation, they are your go-to for officially licensed memorabilia. Primetime sports and framing.
You name it, they frame it.
And they provided all of our giveaway items this year, so we appreciate them. And on today's show, this is what you can look forward to. We got a recap of today's Week 14 loss to the Titans. We're going to do a closer look at the offense, defense, and special teams play, as depressing as that may be. Nominees for Dog of the Week. We'll do some QB talk, some coaching talk, some defense talk. We'll do a lot of talk. And then just what are the Browns even doing here? I don't know. Does anybody know?
Idea.
I don't know. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot more than just that. So let's get things started by reminding everyone to call the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline.
Hot Take Hotline. Call that right now.
Yeah, don't forget to call and leave your hot takes on the Hot Take Hotline. These are hot takes. Everybody should have hot takes after what's transpired the last few weeks here. It hasn't been good. That's what I can tell you. It has not been good.
You don't have a pulse.
No. So yeah, get your hot takes in. And then also for the first time ever tonight, if you use the link in the chat here, and actually let me do this real quick for all of our Facebook people because it doesn't connect like it's supposed to. Technology. If you go ahead and use the link that we've posted, you could actually sign into our stream on Riverside, into our studio, and you can do live call-ins if you'd prefer that. So go ahead and try that. I mean, if we get any, we'll definitely put you guys on. We'll talk to you. So yeah, call in that way, I guess.
Chat's quiet tonight for the first time in several weeks. I wonder if people are just tuned out.
Well, people are probably just fed up. We lost to the Titans. Let's be real here. I mean, I don't even know what we're doing recapping the game. I think we should just say we lost to the Titans. Everybody goes home.
Lose to the Titans.
But yeah, so the Week 14 recap. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start with special teams today.
They were good today.
After last week's game, there was absolutely no way they could come out and be ass again, right?
You would think that.
Wrong. At least two that I saw, muffed punt return, which luckily we got back, but it's still concerning that it's still happening.
I mean, we got to be the only team in all of football that we consistently don't have a guy that can fair catch a punt.
We have absolutely no idea how to field a punt. Which, I mean, we'll get to that in a second. I have something to say about that. And then obviously there was a blocked punt today as well. But the muffed punt return,
even the first kick return of the game, I mean, was not well covered.
It went back to like the 45. I didn't even put that in here. As soon as the game opened, I remember just being like, seriously, like it's going to be that kind of day. Yep. So yeah,
and that did set the tone. That set the tone for the first drive.
Drop my phone. Yeah, it was bad, and it just immediately right off the rip, you're behind the 8 ball, and you're like,
yep.
Trying to play catch up all night to the momentum that they have. But yeah, so the muffed punt return, I wanted to come back to that because, like I said, obviously you got it back, but the fact that Larvadan is back there still fielding punts is crazy. But at the same time this week, you've got Bubba Ventrone throwing shade at the GM. When they asked him about it, he's like, well, with the roster we've got, he's the best we have. So I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Kenny? Just like blatantly, like our roster is ass. So who you want me to put back there?
Well, yeah, I mean, at first, I think you have the vote of confidence in in Gage, and it's like, all right, like I, how many times do you get burned by this guy? But then to go on and say like, hey, he's the best we got, which was a clear indication that he doesn't feel like he has the personnel needed for his unit, which isn't good. So
Yeah,
it just plays into the overall dysfunction of this front office and this coaching staff that clearly is not on the same page, even when it comes to special teams. So
yeah,
there's no questioning or misunderstandings here. Like the special teams is bad, they know it's bad, and they haven't done anything to address it.
absolutely. And look, here's the deal. Bubba Ventrone, I've said it for how many weeks have we said this for now? He needs fired immediately. Like
Yeah.
him being the coach of our special teams unit is a liability in itself. Um, and then just add fuel to the fire with him calling out the GM. Like, why? How are you still employed? I just don't understand. Like,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is we have to
usually
be the only organization in all of sports where you just get to do whatever the fuck you want, and nobody. Like, it's just like you still got a job. You're good. It doesn't matter.
you can publicly shame your boss every week and no one cares.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, that's how we feel too. So, yeah, I mean, it's just wild. He's not holding up his end of the bargain as a coach. Uh, he's consistently not holding anybody accountable because they don't make any changes on special teams, which that all, it all rolls downhill because that starts at the top with coaching wise with Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
But and then on top of it, he's out there just saying that Andrew Barry's trash at his job too. So like, how are you still here?
The
And they
Browns is the Browns.
and they want to talk about building a culture and building this that you built a culture all right. It's a pretty good one.
I haven't heard them talk a lot lately about building culture, and I think it's because they all know like there isn't one here.
They're like,
I
we
mean, you can't even
tried.
pretend at this point.
They're like, we tried and it did not work.
I mean, the culture
Nobody
here
respected
is
us.
the culture here is losing. That's it. That's all you
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move over to offense. We all know Bubba Ventrone should be gone, so we don't have to talk about that too long today. Look, Shedeur Sanders actually had a pretty good game, in my opinion. There was obviously the really, really bad. It was, and don't get me wrong, it was a really, really bad interception. Very poor decision. I'll be honest, when he threw it, I was like, I have no idea what you were looking at or what you were thinking or what was. I have no idea what was happening there. It was one of the most just ill-timed and poor decisions that I've seen in a long time. But at the same time, I mean, he bounced back from it. So it is what it is. You can't be perfect all the time. Sometimes even the best quarterbacks have made stupid mistakes. So
Yeah, good quarterbacks make bad throws every week in the NFL. It's just a thing that happens.
He took 2 sacks. I think one of the 2 that I saw was definitely he probably held on. He probably could have got rid of the ball and didn't. But I know there was some times that we were pressing and trying to get things done and whatever else. So, but overall, I think the thing with Shedeur, everybody likes to say that we're Shedeur lovers or we whatever else, but I think we come at this whole conversation with a level head and we say he's the best one on the roster right now. And he's made huge strides. I mean, just look at this game compared. And I know you're playing the Titans, but look at this game compared to his first start or even against the Ravens. And the Raiders game is a game that they won. He looked head and shoulders better this game than he did against the Raiders.
Well, and I think that's what we were asking to see of Dylan Gabriel was some kind of
progression,
linear improvement where you can say, okay, is he working on the things that he is struggling with? I thought even the commentators called it out during the game that he was getting rid of the ball quickly. I didn't see him drifting back in the pocket very often. There were 1 or 2 plays here or there, but for the most part, he was stepping up into the pocket and either trying to deliver the ball. I thought he did a good job taking care of the ball, throwing it away when there was nothing there. Which a couple times even on the broadcast, again, the commentators called out like, hey, that was a coverage throwaway. I mean, there was just no one open. So, and I think for Shedeur, he's playing that balancing act, right? He knows how important ball security is to Kevin Stefanski. So I know that was one of the criticisms of today's performance was his completion percentage, but they threw the ball a lot. And I think that he has it in his head that he's going to throw the ball away, especially rather than take a sack, which is good. That's improvement, right? I mean, if you're saying, hey, you can't take 4 or 5 sacks in a game, he's learning and going, okay, then I'm going to get rid of it when nothing's there. And the only thing I think you saw today was he used his feet a couple of times to get out of trouble and just tucked it and ran, which
Yeah.
was very
I'll say
different
this.
than Shedeur very early on when the play broke down and he was kind of running for a dodge a lot. Today it was very selective and calculated in the plays that he said, hey, look, this is broken, but I can get something done on the ground, and he did.
Yeah, I'll say this about one criticism I have of Shedeur Sanders. He is like the most god awful slider of all time. He has no idea how to slide.
Very awkward.
He's just like I
Yeah.
just kind of fall down and hope nobody hits me. I don't really know what to do
I
here. I'm
I
not.
thought he kind of tweaked his legs again this week, similar to the toe thing he had last week,
Yeah,
when he tried to slide the first time. And yeah, you're right. I mean, he that's something he needs to work on for sure.
yeah. Which I mean, hopefully that comes, but I have to imagine that sliding is something you can teach. Like
I would hope so.
not like the willingness to slide, the ability to slide.
Yeah, yeah.
But that, I mean, yeah, like I said, overall he got much better. And for anybody that wants to still hate, I mean, he was 23 of 42. Sure, the completion percentage was a little low, but he threw for 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he
Yeah.
only took 2 sacks. Like 2 sacks isn't that much, especially when you think about this line. Pochik went down in this one, and just how dismantled this thing was. Did Wyatt Teller even play, or did he get benched again this week? I think they already said he was out,
Wyatt
right?
was injured, yeah.
Yeah, he was out yeah, injured. Yeah, me too. So yeah, Wyatt Teller's out. Pochik's out for most of the game or half the game, most of the game. So I mean, you know, only taking 2 sacks, that's pretty good if you ask me. That tells me he's getting rid of the ball, and finding ways to avoid pressure.
And the offensive line was poor again today. I mean, it's something we've known all year, right? And he was under pressure a lot. And to your point, I mean, he only took 2 sacks. I think on the interception too, and that was a play that I'm sure that he wants back, right? They're going to watch film and he's going to go, Jesus, why did I throw that? But I think when you saw it from the back angle, from the quarterback's perspective, I saw what he saw, which was the receiver did come open for a second. He was slow on the read and slow on the take of getting the ball out when it happened, and that's what allowed the defender to undercut it. But when it came open, it was there. The problem was it's cold, it's windy, it's snowing, and it was a long throw. So by the time the ball got there, it looked like the worst throw of all time. So
Yeah, and
which I'm sure that he wants back. But look, that's also a part of his game. That's a part of what you're going to get with the Shedeur Sanders experience, which is he is going to stretch the field. He's going to throw the ball down the field and he's going to take chances. And you can say, okay, well, we don't want to make those throws, but hey, if you throw one pick and on the same day you throw 3 touchdowns and run one in, you have 4 touchdowns to 1 interception. Like you're going to have to live with a little bit of that. And the alternative is right now you have on your roster, which is Dylan Gabriel, which is never going to throw the ball down the field ever, and you don't have any of the big plays that you had today.
yeah. You do have another guy now on the roster, but we won't go there.
Yeah, let's please not. And I think the other criticism coming out of today, which again, this is the only guy that every week we move the goalposts for grading his performance, because Shedeur now is the only other Super Bowl era quarterback, joining just Joe Burrow as a rookie, to have 350 passing yards, 3 pass touchdowns, and a rush touchdown in a single game.
No, you beat me to it. I was going to say I forgot to even mention that he had a rushing touchdown. So Shedeur Sanders today responsible for 4 touchdowns, which checks notes. Yeah, we had 4 touchdowns today. So
yeah, when's the last time that happened? And the final thing I'll say too, just about, again, I think the criticism being lobbed at Shedeur today was, okay, Shedeur had a good game, but it was against the Titans. Okay, there were 12 other teams that played the Titans this year, and Shedeur had the best game out of every single one of them. I have all the stats for all those games because I went through and wrote them down, because I was like, is this really the criticism here? Stafford maybe had the best week. He threw for 298 and 2 touchdowns against this defense. Nobody else really was even close. A lot of guys in the mid 200s, a couple of guys in the high hundreds, a lot of guys with 1 touchdown, 1 pick type of game. Nobody threw for 364, three touchdowns, and had a rushing touchdown. Not a single one of them. So
right.
you can say, oh, the Titans are ass, and the Titans are ass, but if it's so easy to have that day against this defense, why didn't the other 12 quarterbacks that played against them this year put up the same numbers?
And just to add on to that, and I know a lot of people will probably say it's because they didn't need to because their rushing game was on. Well, I think that's another point for Shedeur because our rushing game, we had Quinshon Judkins in here averaging 1.9 yards a carry today.
And whether less than 30 yards for the day.
Yeah, he was 14 for 26. So whether that's on Quinshon more or the offensive line or lack thereof is a whole other conversation. But the fact of the matter is there was absolutely no run game. So Shedeur Sanders, the passing game had to do it on their own.
Shedeur Sanders was the leading rusher for the Cleveland Browns today.
Yeah, 3 for 29.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's just another feather in his cap. And again, it's an NFL defense. I understand that might be bad. They're not the worst in the league right now.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, you want to flip that to the other side. The Tennessee Titans played the second best defense today and put up 31 points on them. So
yeah.
It's the NFL. Crazy shit happens.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say too, just about the Titans and the fact that they suck. This team lost to the Jets. And this was a week after, the week of them trading their two best defensive players.
Yep.
So, if it's just so easy for any quarterback in the league to just go out and just light it up that way, why didn't Dillon Gabriel?
Yep. I was going to say 364 yards is something you will never, ever see out of Dillon Gabriel in the NFL.
When's the last time? I mean, he's the only quarterback in Cleveland this year to throw for 300 yards.
Yeah. He's probably, yeah. I mean, this was I don't think that could be understated enough. This was a pretty monster game out of a quarterback.
Yeah. And here's the thing. This was Shedeur's third start, right? He's had a total of about 9 practices with the ones all together. So
this was his third start, and I think everybody's in agreement at this point. Kevin Stefanski's offense sucks.
Yep.
The offensive line is terrible. We have no run game, and this was his third start, and our special teams don't give him any help. So all of that, and he still was able to do this. And again, I'm still not even ready to say, as much as people want to paint that on us every time we start talking about how good he could be, I'm still not even ready to say he's the franchise quarterback. But what I am ready to say is he clearly belongs in the NFL. He looks... Anybody that's still arguing that Dillon Gabriel looks any better than he does is absolutely insane, and I'm convinced you've lost all credibility and you're a complete idiot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're thinking, oh, well, there's no difference between Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel because, even the box scores now don't align to your argument. So you have no argument. The offense looks night and day different. The 60-yarder to Judy today, a couple other balls.
Just today alone, he had a 35-yarder to Fannin. He had a 60-yarder to Jerry Judy. He had a 31-yarder to Dylan Sampson. And I understand some of these are run after catch, but still, 58-yarder to Quinshon Judkins, 23 yards to Cedric Tillman. Like, it is exceedingly rare for Dillon Gabriel to even get over 20 yards on a single pass in any game.
Yeah.
And he had 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5, because that's just the longs that I can see from every player. It could be a couple more. So,
well, and that's what I loved about this performance for Shedeur today was that he showed you in 25-degree day where it was snowing in Cleveland in December. He showed you that he could make every throw. He hit the screens and the short throws and the swing passes at the line of scrimmage. He threw the intermediate routes to get first downs on 3rd and long. And he threw the stretch the field type plays that are going to be high risk, high reward that make the difference in an NFL game. And I saw throws that required zip that were lasered in there. I saw throws that required touch that he was able to float in and get the timing right. He has every throw that you need to succeed at the NFL level.
Yeah. Again, Shedeur Sanders looked good today. I'm going to go back to Quinshon Judkins right now. We've been saying for a few weeks now that we're a little concerned. Don't get me wrong. He looks explosive. I'll give him that. He still looks explosive.
And he's broken a lot of tackles.
He's broken a lot of tackles. He still has a lot of yards after contact on the season. But I mean, all of a sudden, if you go over the last 10 weeks or so, 6 weeks or so, his yards per carry is significantly down. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the offensive line and the injuries and whatever else. I'm not naive to that. But I think this just kind of goes to show you is um, early on, everybody's talking about Quinshon Judkins being the second coming of Nick Chubb, and I don't know that we can count on that because not everybody is Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he's a good player. Like I don't want to undersell like Quinshon as an athlete. He is good. He can run between the tackles. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Like he's very versatile. But what is his ceiling? I don't know. I mean, is he a top 10 type guy, or is he more of a 10 to 20 type guy, which is fine, right? You don't always have to have a top 5 running back in the NFL to be successful, but certainly you look at a game like today against a bad defense, and you would have thought that you'd have more than 26 yards on the ground.
I mean, it's even more ridiculous when you think that he got 14 yards on one carry and he ended with 26 on 14 carries.
Yeah. He
And
did
so
have
I don't know.
that long pass reception.
Yeah. And so again, this sounds like it's actually an attack on Quinshon Judkins, and I actually don't mean it to be that. I mean it to be more of we still need to remain cautiously optimistic. He's a rookie. He had some success early. It's tapered off a little bit. We need to see what happens. But I think this is where I'm going with this. The biggest indictment is on the coaching staff and the
Yeah.
fact that we just absolutely cannot figure out a run game to save our
Yeah.
lives. I don't care what era of football you're in, how much passing is going on. If you can't get a run game going, you will lose.
Yeah, the scheme is poor.
Yeah.
And we know that.
So just something to keep an eye on, just if he's able to bounce back as the year goes on, or if it continues down this road of 1.9 yards a carry.
And the last thing that I'll throw in there just around Quinshon is Quinshon's a rookie. Quinshon has had a lot of carries this year.
Yep.
They're running him essentially as the every down workhorse back. That's a guy that's not. I mean, I know the college season has gotten longer, sure, but it's spaced out a little bit differently than the NFL, where you're playing every week. So I do think some of that is just the natural attrition that happens during the season, and probably going forward next year, a couple of years in, like his body will be in better shape. He'll know, he'll have that experience to know how to take care of his body better, because I do think it's that rookie wall, right? I mean, everybody talks about that, and different guys have different experiences with that, but he's had a lot of work this year. And I don't think it's unfair to think that, maybe Dylan Sampson should get more workload through the end of this season just to preserve the health of Quinshon Judkins.
And that's something we've talked about a lot. It was nice to see him get so many catches today. 5 catches for 64 yards for Dylan Sampson. That guy needs to touch the ball more often. We need to absolutely just get rid of Jerome Ford. He should never touch the ball again in this offense.
He did have the fumble, which was bad, but
I don't even care. The fact that he does what he does when he touches the ball, he looks like he's playing a completely different game than Jerome Ford. He looks like everything Jerome Ford was supposed to be when they brought him in.
100%. I mean, I think there's a noticeable difference visually when the ball is in their hands, Quinshon or Dylan Sampson's, versus Jerome Ford's, just in the amount of burst and speed that both those guys offer.
Jerome Ford is ass returning the ball too. He's Jerome so Ford bad.
Looks like he's running in slow motion when he gets the ball in his hands.
Jerome Ford looked so confused on kickoffs today and trying to return the ball. He had no idea where to go.
To be fair, if you were Bubba Ventrone's returner, wouldn't you be confused?
I would just be scared.
What are we doing here?
I would just be really scared. And then a couple other guys to touch on for the offense here. Harold Fannin Jr., monster game, 8 receptions, 114 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy, he finally did something of note. 3 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown, including was it the touchdown that was the 60-yarder?
Yeah, the touchdown was a 60-yarder. And then right after that play, him and Shedeur, I don't know if you saw that clip or not, of them in the end zone. They had kind of a kumbaya moment. They both knelt face to face together and kind of put their arms around each other. So whatever was going on last week apparently seems to be resolved.
Yeah, which is good. And we kind of, we talked about it a little bit, but those things do happen in football, so it is what it is. And then like we already talked about Dylan Sampson, so kind of the big players on offense there. So let's go ahead and go.
I would just also mention just David Njoku obviously left with a tough
Yes,
injury,
injuries
but
come at
made
the
a
end of this, Kenny. You're jumping
but
the gun, but
well, I wasn't necessarily talking about his injury. I was just talking about the catch that he made for the touchdown was one hell of a snag. I mean, a
yeah,
great ball delivered by Shedeur, but a hell of a grab by Njoku to come down with that and hold on to it even when he got
yeah.
banged up.
What a stat line for a Joker today.
One for
One
one.
target, 1 reception, 1 yard, 1 touchdown, a long of 1. So I mean, no, it was a
But
really
it was a
great
hell of a
catch.
one.
Yeah, it was a great catch, and it's unfortunate to see him get injured on the play. But yeah, I was gonna go to Kevin Stefanski. I'm gonna save that right now. We're gonna go to the defense. Um, Defense was terrible for the first time all year. The defense was terrible.
Yeah.
And I know Myles Garrett added another sack. Carson Schwezinger, in my opinion, still continues to look like a bona fide All-Pro. He was everywhere. He was like the only guy on the defense that looked like he was actually interested.
Yeah, playing coverage, batting passes.
Yeah, but they just Myles Garrett said it in his post-game press conference. He said, "We did not earn the right to rush the passer today because we could not stop the run."
Yep.
And that was exactly what it is. And he said that they knew going into this thing, like that's where they were at. Is this was going to be? They wanted to get after the passer. They wanted to pin their ears back, get after Cam Ward, make him feel uncomfortable. And the Titans came in here and said, "You forgot about the run." And if you forget about the run, then Tony Pollard's going to have a career day for 161 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Pollard hadn't rushed for 100 yards all season, and he had 100 yards basically by halftime. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, big miss on the coaching side of things. I mean, I'm not going to beat Jim Schwartz up too much on this whole thing because they've been a stellar unit all year long. But that's kind of a pretty big oversight when you really don't game plan for half the game. And I think that's in a game like today in December, like you got to kind of know like teams are going to run the ball. But to be fair, like even in my preview for this week's game, I kind of wrote off Tony Pollard and said he was trash. Jay Spears isn't very good. I mean, they made us all look silly. So I guess they put up like 185 yards today. So
I guess my question is how in the world in the NFL do you overlook anybody, especially when you're 3-9?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Like
can't
I don't care how bad the team you're about to play is. You're 3-9. Like you're a really bad football team. How do you overlook anybody? And they completely that's what they did. They just completely disrespected the Titans and said, you guys can't run on us. We aren't even worried about the run at all. Not even a little.
And it
showed.
They said,
yeah, and it did show. And it was pretty alarming to see. But again, I do as hard as it was to watch. I do kind of chalk it up to just every once in a while, a unit has a bad day. It's going to happen.
Well, let's be real here too. A couple of those runs too especially in critical junctures of the game, got called back on penalties. So we got bailed out a few times by some like illegal hands to the face and just weird shit that was getting called, and some holding calls that otherwise if a team doesn't commit those penalties, like you may not even had the chance to come back in this game and have a chance to win at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, units do have bad days. Good teams, the other unit picks them up. The offense definitely tried today, but then when you throw in the special teams poor play and it's kind of 2 out of the 3 units play bad, it's a recipe for disaster. So,
and again, it's hard to beat this defense up too bad because they've been on the other side of that equation all year long, where they're just like, can we score any points at all? And we haven't been able to. So, to your point, like you have bad days and good days, and today was a bad day for this Browns defense. You give up 31 teams to the worst team in the league, and Cam Ward really didn't play particularly well. And it was just that running
14
game
of 28 for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, I mean that running game was just really, really good today.
Yeah, 1 sack, which Myles Garrett sits at, for anybody that's following along, Myles Garrett sits at 20 right now. So he needs 2.5 to tie and 3 to break the record. He's got 4 games to go. So
I was worried. I was worried they weren't going to credit him that full sack.
I thought they were going to give him half sack too, but it looked like he had him fully wrapped before the other guy got there.
Yeah.
So I thought the same thing though, but it's the NFL. They want to see somebody break the record anyway. So, But yeah, so again, the defense was bad. But I just want to be completely clear here. I know the defense played bad. I know the special teams played bad. But this game was a coaching game. Even with all of the bad things that happened with the play of the special teams unit, the defensive unit, you should have won that game. The Browns should have won that game. And it all comes back to Stefanski. First, I'll start with this. His offense is still trash. We're just lucky that Tommy Rees had actually called some plays downfield. Let's Shedeur throw the ball downfield a little bit. But we saw it with the rushing game. We talked about that. The rushing game was terrible.
And to be fair, the pace of the game almost dictated that, right? I mean, that wasn't like we game planned and said, hey, we're going to take the training wheels off. The pace of the game found themselves down 2 scores, and they said, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to play a drop back throw it game. Which ended up being good because that's what we've been asking for, is to take the training wheels off Shedeur and let him toss the rock around a little bit, give him some latitude to operate. And you saw for the very first time what he's capable of doing with some freedom in this offense.
Yeah. And it was great to see when they finally did it. But yeah, so luckily Tommy Rees is calling plays and Kevin Stefanski's not, or else we would have seen even more of the shenanigans that we saw a little bit of. Which we'll get to in just a second. Couple of issues with Kevin Stefanski today is one, I just want to say his coaching continues to get worse. Like, you think it can't get worse, and it gets worse every single week.
The Browns, specifically Kevin Stefanski, finds new ways to lose games every week.
Yeah, and we'll start with this. He in the first half, I know you texted in our group text and you were like, oh, Kevin, because what happened was, the scenario was, he tried to do a hard count on 4th and 2, and instead of calling the timeout, because I think they had 3 timeouts left.
3 timeouts before the half.
With not a lot of time, instead of using a timeout, on 4th and 2, he let the clock run out, and they took a penalty for delay of game, so back 5 yards. And the very next play, the Titans went offsides. Instead of a first down, it was a 4th and 2 again. So it just cost us a first down there in a critical point in the game going into the half.
Kevin doing Kevin things.
Yep. Next, we went for 2 on the first touchdown.
Well, before that, can we also say the first time they got into the red zone too? I think it was after Quinshon's long play. Immediately to the Wildcat. Yeah, Shedeur's playing well in that first half, and as soon as you get down there, we're like, yeah, get Shedeur out of the game. Gotta go to the Wildcat.
Don't even get me started on all the different implications that this has, like whether it's he doesn't like Shedeur or whatever. There's all those theories, but even just the fact that I go to Kevin Stefanski, this is how I know that Ivy League education ain't worth the shit, is because he, all of a sudden, one time the Wildcat worked with Quinshon Judkins, and it's like a shiny new toy. He's like, I got to roll this out every single chance I get and show it off to all my friends. Like, no, this isn't the way to go. The guys,
mind you, to your running back who's averaging less than 4 yards a carry on the season.
Yeah. And on the day he's averaging 1.9. So it's just wild to me. Get it, Wildcat.
Good
but
one.
yeah,
I mean,
on top of that, at the end of the game, we're trying to come back. We're down 2 scores, and the Browns score, potentially bringing it within 7 points. Right? Wrong. We decided to go for 2 on the first touchdown instead of just taking the points and ensuring a tie. Like, isn't the conventional wisdom, like, I know the theory behind it, and we talked about this during the game. I know the theory behind it. You go for 2 on the first one because chances are you can at least be 50% on 2-point conversion. So you're like, you go for 2 on the first one. If you get it, then you can win with if you just kick the extra point the next time. If you don't get it, you still have another chance to get 2 and tie the game. But
I just feel like those situations, though, are usually where it's like, you're going to have to go for 2 at some point. That's usually why you do it the first. When you're going to have to go for 2 at some point, which in this case, that wasn't a necessity. It was a luxury. Sure, if they had got a 2-point conversion there, yeah, great, you win the game, don't have to go to overtime. But it's usually when you're down to where the math is, you're down 15 or whatever, you're going to have to go for 2 at some point. So you give yourself 2 looks at it. This wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary at all. The game, there were still 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. You have a chance to draw it within 7, 1 possession. Just draw it to 7.
And where I was going with it is conventional wisdom is you go for the win on the road and you go for the tie at home because you got the crowd behind you in overtime. So,
Yeah.
I don't know why you go for it on the first one. You just take the points and you hope for the tie, because if you tie the game, you have the crowd behind you in overtime.
Right.
Like I'm all for at the end of the game, you have the choice to tie it up or go for two to win the game when you're on the road. I would go for two every time because I don't want to. I hate overtime anyways. I think it's stupid. And especially because in the regular season in the NFL can end in a tie, which is the dumbest thing that's ever happened to any sports ever. But yeah, I mean, you go for two there. You don't go for two on this random, what are we doing? And then we proceeded that led to the absolute worst call of the night.
Yeah.
Where we do score that touchdown. So now we're looking at, okay, we could have been tied. No, we got to go for two. And so what do? We take out our quarterback who just scored a touchdown. Mind you, just brought him back.
Who just scored 2 touchdowns in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it brought him back and has 364 passing yards on the day and 3 touchdowns. And we take him out of the game, not just out of the play, out of the game. And we run this wildcat bullshit. And we run it and we try and do some sort of reverse pass.
You had to know the reverse was coming, right?
Yeah. I hadn't seen it all game, so you knew it was coming at some point because you can't have a Stefanski game without a reverse.
Well, they did run a reverse early in the game. That's the one that got Malachi Corley killed.
Yeah.
And Mark Schlereth.
Let me rephrase that. About it. Let me rephrase that. You can't have a Kevin Stefanski game without running at least 2 reverses.
Multiple reverses, yeah.
Yeah. And so Quinshon completely missed the pitch. He's like, oh, I was supposed to pitch it there. That guy's way over there now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to turn around and just throw the ball up in the air. It was just a circus. It was the absolute worst thing I ever saw. And it was like the epitome of everything Browns. I was just like, yep, this feels right. This just feels like how the game was supposed to end. Because there's no way we were going to tie that and go into overtime. There's no way.
I was watching this, and my son is sick right now, and so my wife laid down to take a nap with him.
Gotta love toddlers. Always sick.
And so my wife laid down with him, and so they had just woken up, and she was coming around the corner of the hallway, and I'm sitting on the couch, and unbeknownst to myself, I am beaming ear to ear, like I just won the lottery. And she comes around the corner and she's like, what's going on? Why do you look like that? And I was just like beside myself with the ludicrous embarrassment that this team finds every week. And that was the culmination of Browns fandom and the perfect illustration of everything Kevin Stefanski, which was, we're going to run Wildcat, take your rookie quarterback out that's having a career day, take him out of the game entirely. And then we're going to run Wildcat. We're going to run a reverse Wildcat. And the reverse happens, and then it doesn't happen. Quinshon realizes it and goes, uh-oh, I got to do something, and tries to throw the ball to who knows where. And that's just the end of the game. I was just like, this is just the absolute most embarrassing way to lose a football game ever in the history, because you shouldn't even have been in that position. You shouldn't even have been there. It was like in Armageddon when Buscemi is on the asteroid. And he goes, we shouldn't be here, man.
Yeah. It's that, and like every time the Browns play, it's like earlier in the movie when they say just scariest environment imaginable. Just that's all you have to say. Scariest environment imaginable.
It's all wrong. We shouldn't even be here.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good way to describe the Cleveland Browns, Armageddon. That's Jamie, I know he highlighted your comment a little while ago. What's up?
Give us a call, Jamie. We're taking live call-ins tonight.
Yeah, if you'd like to go to the link and give us a call in. Don't tempt him with a good time. But yeah, I mean, it was just Kevin doing Kevin things all night long, and it couldn't be more obvious to me that he does not want Shedeur to succeed. Between every time they're in the red zone, he takes him out and puts Quinshon in to run the Wildcat.
The fact that you took him out on the
penultimate play of the
game, the play that is going to decide the future of the game. and you take him out. I mean, if there was any question, if you were on the fence about how Kevin felt about Shedeur and the confidence level that this front office has in Shedeur, and well, not the front office, but the coaching staff has in Shedeur, it was on full display. The lack of any belief that this guy is any good at all, to the point where on the most important play of the game, you take the kid out and say we're going to do something totally different, totally off the wall, totally against the grain, a gadget play. We're going to put the fate of the game in the hands of a gadget play. I mean, it's very clear that Kevin has it out for Shedeur at this point. I mean, there's no other explanation for that. There's
Yeah,
none.
I
There's
don't know
none.
how else to explain it.
You could have run a million other plays. Hell, put the ball in Shedeur Sanders and let him sneak it. I mean, the kid's mobile. Put him on a boot. Let him have a run pass option.
Leading rusher today.
He's a leading rusher. Let it do anything besides that. Anything besides that.
Yeah. So yeah, just again, Kevin doing Kevin things. And I just wonder, when is enough enough? Like, hashtag fire Stefanski, hashtag fire Bubba. I'm done with these two guys. I'm really done with pretty much this whole team. Not player wise, but like coaching wise. I'm just done with this whole team. The only person I hope gets retained is Jim Schwartz. And that's a long shot. This, like, if you ask me now, I'm pretty sure from everything that I've read and everything that I've been hearing from different sources and whatever else, like, it sounds like what's going to happen is Andrew Berry's going to stay. Kevin Stefanski's going to be gone. And pretty much the whole coaching staff goes with him. I think that there's an argument to be made to keep Jim Schwartz, no matter who the coach is. Obviously, he's got a lot of connections around the league, and he's going to have those conversations when they come. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, like, I think we've reached a point, especially after today. I do think Kevin Stefanski will be gone. I think that he's going to make it till the end of the season, because Jimmy doesn't. It takes a lot to make an in-season move. I would consider this a lot, but I'm not the owner. But I think he's going to be gone, and I think that they're going to put all their eggs in the Andrew Berry basket, and that he's going to continue to steer this franchise in the right direction. Which I don't know about that, but that's where we're going to be.
I'm not as confident as you that Stefanski gets let go at the end of this season. I mean, is it the right thing to do? 100%. Stefanski needs to go. And whether that's tomorrow, I mean, I wouldn't even let Stefanski hit the showers tonight. I would have just fired him before he got into the tunnel.
Not everybody's as smart as us.
We've been saying it for a couple of years now. Like, Stefanski needs to go. I'm not as optimistic that he's going to go. And I thought there was an interesting story this week about Tommy Rees interviewing for the Penn State head coaching gig, and he turned it down. So if I'm Tommy Rees and I have the opportunity to go lead a premier program at college football, if I don't have job security, I probably am thinking really long and hard about that, and probably very considerate of that offer. The fact that he turned them down tells me he has some belief that Kevin's going to be back next year. Plus, I just don't trust Jimmy to do the right thing. So I am not optimistic at all that
Here's
Kevin
a theory,
is going to
and
get
this
let
is just
go. But
here's a theory, and it's just a theory. What if he's going to be on their short list of coaches to replace Kevin Stefanski?
I would be okay with that. Look, to me, it's anybody but Stefanski, right? So if Tommy Rees was in that conversation, that would be fine. So if he has a head shake and a nod from Jimmy that he'll at least be in the conversation and highly considered, that would be fine. But and I know there was a story in the Athletic about Jimmy considering cleaning house. So it's absolutely the right thing to do. It needs to be done. It's well past time. I just don't have faith that they're going to execute that.
Yeah, we'll see. We as the season unfolds, we got a couple more games against not so great teams, so we'll see what happens here. And they ain't winning any more games. Like, this is it. We said between 3 and 5, and they went with the lower end of that. So,
yeah.
I mean, before the season, I didn't say between 3 and 5, but basically since like week 2, I've said between 3 and 5.
I said it before the season.
Yeah, would you? I think you actually had them at 4 games before the season, if I'm not mistaken.
That's about what I picked. Yeah.
So good job, Kenny. Better than most of us how bad the Browns suck. Injuries, real quick, just to
on that note. I hate to be the guy it's like I told you. It's not I told you so. It's just, can you imagine if you had a coaching staff that was doing the right thing, and we didn't go through the Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett drama that was the offseason. And Shedeur had a full offseason installed in this game plan and this offense. I mean, after 3 games, the dude has made tremendous strides. He looks night and day better than the kid that took the field for a half against Baltimore. Again, whether or not he's the long-term answer at quarterback or a franchise guy, we don't know. He's played 3 games, but he has gotten better every week. He had a really nice game today, and I have to think that if he was given the opportunity to be the starter on day one in a legitimate quarterback competition and got reps with the ones all during the offseason, that he would be very much further along, and that this team, frankly, in the AFC North would have won a couple more games, which would put them right in the thick of the conversation for the division this year. They may not have won it, and that's fair. He's a rookie. I'm sure he would have lost some of those games as well. But could he have won 1 or 2 of those games? The Jets, the Vikings come to mind. Those types of games that were close. And could you have 5 or 6 wins at this point in the season? I mean, it just changes the entire paradigm about everything that you think about this offense and this team going forward if they were 5-7 or 6-6.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. And I was for the, I'll say it. I was for the Joe Flacco thing, but I think the difference is between me and even our coaching staff who did end up trading him away, coaching staff front office who did end up trading him away, is Bone and I flipped after like week 1. We were like, this isn't good. I think we might have gave him till week 2, and then we were like, it's over. Like, this team's really bad. We got to do something else. And on top of all that, like, not only did you go through all the drama in the offseason, Dillon Gabriel for, what was it, 6 weeks?
Well, the whole Dillon Gabriel experiment, right? I mean, that was a useless.
Because you go back to the offseason. That's another thing that we don't talk about is even in the offseason, as much as they want to say backups don't get starters reps, who was getting starters reps all offseason long was the backup. Dillon Gabriel was as a rookie. So, I mean, all of that, like all of those things equal the Browns being 3-10 right now and just losing to the 2-11 Titans. So, with that, the final thing I have for the game, injuries, David Njoku out with a knee. We'll see what happens there. Malachi Corley, concussion. He got rocked.
Mark Schlereth was turned up on the broadcast. He was like, that's how you make a tackle. I was like, this guy is still on the ground. He doesn't know who he is.
It's a bad look.
That's how you do it.
Denzel Ward with a calf injury. And then Pochik feared to have suffered an Achilles injury that will most likely end his season and maybe his time with the Browns, because that's the second major injury in a few years here. So,
this offensive line is badly in need of a remodel.
Yep. They're going to have to completely revamp it through. And it's not just a draft thing. Like, you can't just do the draft. It's going to be draft and free agency. You're going to need to bring in probably like 5 new bodies on the offensive line in the offseason.
Yeah, you're going to have to draft one early, and you're going to have to get lucky on somebody in the mid rounds that can play and start next year. And then you're going to have to fill in the rest through free agency.
Yeah, it's a complete overhaul. With that, Burning River Sportscast Dog of the Week nominees. We'll start with Bone. Harold Fannin is who he went with on this one. Again, just to remind everybody, Harold Fannin, 8 receptions, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Kenny, I'll let you go next. Who you got?
Yeah, I'll go Shedeur. Played really, really well today. Again,
23 of 42, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 rushes for 29 yards, and another touchdown. So
the only rookie who's ever had a game like that ever was Joe Burrow. Again, there's been a lot of other teams that have played the Tennessee Titans this year, and no other quarterback had the type of day that Shedeur had. So you can say what you want about that team sucking. If it was that easy, everybody would do it, and they didn't. And there were some good names in that conversation. So it's not like they just play all bad teams.
Yep. And I am actually, I know I've been going Myles Garrett lately, just every time he gets a sack, just because he's closer to the record. I'm going Carson Schwezinger.
12 tackles today.
He had 13 tackles. He was all over the place. And mind you, he missed like half a quarter because he was getting checked out for an injury. So even in 3.5 quarters, he had 13 tackles on the day and was just everywhere. So let me actually I want to check here.
Swesh is really good.
No, I thought maybe there. He had a pass breakup as well. So
yep, he did.
Yeah, so just great day for Carson Schlesinger. I think he's pretty much. I think Myles Garrett obviously has as well, but I think Carson Schlesinger has kind of just sealed the defensive rookie of the year talk. I think he could honestly miss the next 4 games and he would probably win. So
I don't know who else you would give it. I mean, his year has been outstanding. I mean,
yeah, unreal. He's
to the point where it's not a rookie conversation. I mean, I would put him in the top 10 linebackers in the NFL this year. Period.
yeah. Um. So yeah. So just another big day from him. Total of 119 tackles so far in the season. By the way, he's going
With
to
4
be.
games left.
He's
Yeah,
he's projected to finish with 156.
yeah,
That's
that's
that's a pretty
work.
that's a pretty good day.
That's work.
um. But yeah, Kenny, you got any final thoughts on this? Or you want me to go first? You usually make me go first. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
My final thoughts. Hashtag fire Stefanski. That's all I got. I'm just. I've talked about this every single week for God knows how long. Not just this season, for years we've talked about this. And it might not be every single week in past years, but it's at least like every couple weeks it comes up again. Like, what are we doing with this guy? I'm just done with it. I've been done with it. We need a head coach that holds players accountable, that holds coaching staff accountable. We need a guy to come in here that knows football, that isn't hiding behind an Ivy League education thinking he's the smartest guy in the room. So that's where I'm at. Kenny, what do you got?
Yeah. My final thoughts are this. I have two. So it's final thoughts, plural.
You're doing
One,
one for Bone.
well, yeah, I'm getting this is my bone thought. uh my first thought is this that there was a lot of talk obviously going into today about Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and all the draft drama and hoopla that surrounded both of these guys. The Titans obviously select Cam Ward first overall and are, by all accounts, building their team and their future around this guy, which is fine. But he was 14 to 28 today for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Shedeur was 23 of 42, 393, 4 total touchdowns, and a pick. Um, I would say point Shedeur today,
Yeah,
point Browns for
absolutely.
getting him in the 5th round. If I had to decide today and take one of those guys to build my franchise around, I'm glad we have Shedeur Sanders. I would take Shedeur every day of the week and twice on Sunday over Cam Ward. Cam has had a rookie year. He's had a tough rookie year, has drawn a lot of criticism, and hasn't done as well as people had hoped. And certainly the expectations were high, and that team is ass. They fired their head coach early on in the season. Just not a very good football team. A lot of talent missing all around. But again, if I had to pick one of those guys to be my franchise quarterback, just out of those two, again, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, but if I had to pick out of those two, I would pick Shedeur, and I think that was illustrated in a big way today. That the Browns may have got a sneaky steal there, waiting on Shedeur to fall, who played really, really well today. And then the final thought that I do have is just that um, the stadium was empty today. Fans have checked out. I think tickets were on sale for as low as $5 to get into this one. And I think on some level, a part of that is fans thinking like we're making a statement to ownership that we're not going to watch this sorry ass football team. And maybe a little bit. I mean, I think the message resounds, but if we think that's really hurting Jimmy in the pocketbook, like you're
No,
kidding yourself because
most of their money
I'm
ain't come from that.
yeah, I'm all for making statements, but most of those seats are paid for, right? When you're getting tickets for $5, it's usually because those are secondary market tickets. So the Browns have already gotten paid on those tickets for the most part. Maybe you're hurting them on the concessions for the day because there's no one in the stadium drinking beer.
Let's
But
be honest
but
though.
we're
None of
talking
that stuff is what brings them most of their money. The TV deals and everything else are what brings them
yeah.
most of their money.
I mean, we're talking tens and maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars when it comes to concessions, which Jimmy spent that on lunch at McDonald's yesterday. So it's just not the statement I think Browns fans think they're making. Certainly there's the statement of like, hey, there's not interest here, but if we're trying to stick it to ownership, I think we're kind of missing the mark there, because you're just not going to be able to. And let's be real here, when it comes to concessions, most Browns fans are tanked by the time they get in the stadium anyway. So it's not like they sell a lot of
They
beer.
drink a lot less when they get in there. And another thought, just along those same lines is, I mentioned that's not where the money comes from. The money comes from TV deals. So for all you people that decided you were going to stay home because you wanted to stick it to the Browns, did you also not turn the game on? Because if you turn the game on, it didn't matter. That's where they make most of their money anyways. So, and the fact that ratings stay high means that the next TV deal is going to be even more than this one, just like it always is. And they continue to make more and more money.
It is, though, a clear indication that Browns fans don't want to watch a sorry-ass football team in the cold, which just adds.
It's weird. If only we had some sort of building, some sort of thing that we could watch a game in that wasn't
just
cold.
Adds fuel to Jimmy's fire around having the dome in place, because I think people probably would have showed up for $5 if they could have sat in 70-degree, barn, dominium, or whatever they're building out there.
You think that's all part of the plan? He's like, yeah, tank, because at the end of the season,
get everybody cold and mad.
At the end of the season, when nobody's coming, I'm just gonna say, look, you guys had the opportunity to come these last few years in the stadium, and nobody did. So I guess I made the right decision.
That's right. Sticking at the Jimmy just made Jimmy look smart. Is all it did.
Yep. Good job, guys. With that, let me remind everyone to call the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline. Once again, don't forget to call and leave your hot takes on the Hot Take Hotline. Too bad the fans are just completely burnt out. This was a heck of a week for us to start our live calls.
No live calls. That's embarrassing.
I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it just speaks to how bad the Browns are. Nobody wants to pay attention to that. But yeah, call the Hot Take Hotline. These are hot takes. Leave us hot takes. You talk about whatever you want on there. There's no filter. We'll put anything you say on the air. We don't give a shit.
Safety off. All bets are off.
So that number is 330-227-8081.
330-227-8081.
330-227-8081. Call now. We'll take those. We put them on the air for our Thursday shows, which will be Friday this week, which Kenny will get to in a minute. But we put them on our Thursday shows. We talk about them, and we just kind of have a good time with the hot takes. So call in, or
we'll kick you in the Haslams.
Right in the jimmies. So
right in the jimmies.
With that, be sure to check out our gear at www.thetappingmedia.com/shop. And that'll do it for us. Kenny, what can we expect this week?
We will have we do have a programming note here, because we are going to be a day late.
I just mentioned
it comes out Thursday. It'll be out Friday this week. We'll be previewing the week 15 matchup against Dabaz, with another Browns backers interview for your listening pleasure, and all the other things you listen to the Burning River Sportscast for, including the same takes over and over and over and over and over again.
And over again. And check us out on social media. Tabbing Media is on Facebook, X, and Instagram at The Tabbing Media, and Burning River Sportscast. That's this podcast is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Burning River Sportscast, and on X as well at the handle at Burning River Pod. And you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Podcast Castro, Good Pods. We are number one ranked football podcast, and so many more. And please, 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 please leave us those reviews. Help us grow. Help us get seen. It really, really means a lot to us. Plus, we like hearing your kind words. Only leave a review if it's kind words. I mean, if it's bad, you can leave it.
You can tell us we're assholes as long as you leave 5 stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So leave a review. Do it, or we'll kick you in the jimmies.
We're right in the Haslams.
That's it, man. That's all we got.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you this week for our regular show. But until then, don't just be a part of the problem. Be the whole damn problem.
And only you can prevent river fires. Burning River Sportscast.
Burning River.
Good night, Cleveland.
Good night, Cleveland.
Good night, Adam.